Eric Fontanez, MMAWeekly.com here in Huntington Beach, California. We're getting a one-on-one interview with Jake the Juggernaut Ellenberger. He's over at King's MMA. He's waiting to talk to us. So why don't we just go inside and talk to the guy? Because that's what we do. We talk. What was your initial reaction to this fight when it got offered to you? Were you more like, I need to shoot bigger on the ranking scale, or is this the perfect fit for you?
Part of my job though is I don't get to pick who I fight or when I fight. So the UFC tells me who I'm going to fight and where it's going to be. So that's part of my job, and for me, I'm just focusing on one fight at a time, like I have been in the past. And so I really just focus 100% on Diego Sanchez and not looking past him at all. He's an extremely tough fighter, and he's very skilled. So it's a great matchup.
He's also a pretty exciting fighter. How excited were you once you first got the nod that you're gonna face him in February?
Oh, it's great. I was real excited. I've seen him fight for a while now, a long time. Like I said, it's a great matchup for me, and just need to work harder, keep working harder, and come in good shape. He's always coming forward and ready to fight. So I just make sure I'm ready.
And clearly you're always coming forward, too. I guess that's why they call you the Juggernaut. I guess you leave a path of demolition where you lie. Let's talk about your career up until this point, in the UFC specifically. What have been the high points for you up until this point?
Sure. I've since being in the UFC, obviously my first loss was to Carlos Condit. Now he's definitely one of the best welterweights in the world. It was definitely a close fight, but I've used it really to stay hungry and to motivate me and move forward. I made some small changes with coaches and continually to surround myself with the best people I can find. And like I said, for me, I'm just take it one fight at a time. You can't look too far into the future. And the last couple of years have definitely been going well for me. I've been able to be around such good people. My wrestling coach in college was Mike Denny, and then he was big on always having a routine. And so, the more organized I can get with my training and having a routine, the more focused I can be on each specific fight, and it's just going to help me keep growing and keep learning.
How about some high points? How about that win over Jake Shields? How big of a moment was that for you?
Oh, definitely. That was definitely one of the biggest wins for sure in my career. He's a world champion. I mean, it was awesome to fight him. And reason being I wanted to fight him is he's one of the best. I mean, he's a few-time world champ in Strikeforce and definitely one of the best fighters in the world. So.
Did you anticipate the fight going as quickly as it did? Did you know you were going to get in there and be able to rock him like you did?
I wasn't anticipating it being that as quick as it went, but it went a lot faster than I assumed. I was really preparing just for a 3-round, hard grinding war, but luckily it wasn't, and it went my way for sure.
Well, now against Diego Sanchez, clearly you're in the mix now as far as top welterweights in the world. I know you said you're not looking very far into the future, but does any part of you think about how far you're off from a title shot, or you ever dream of being the one to hold the UFC welterweight belt?
Absolutely. That's the whole reason I'm in this sport is to be a world champion. I can't. I'm not going to dance around that question at all. That's the only reason I'm in the sport. I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to become famous. To wear that belt is the only reason why I'm in the sport, and the only way I'm going to get there is completely dedicating my life to training and keep winning each fight. So I try not to look past each fight ahead of me, but that's my ultimate goal for sure, is to be a world champion.
Now, I just saw you wave bye to your coach, Rafael Cordero. How big of an influence has he been in your career at this point?
The guy's amazing. He has such a passion for what he does. For me, he's helped me out so much, just not only technically, but just kind of opening your mind on different ways of with striking. And he's been around the sport almost his whole life. He's been in the part of the sport longer than I've been alive. So I mean, it's been just an honor to be here training with him, and the knowledge he brings to the table. Just such a nice guy, such a passionate guy. I mean, he always makes you feel so good, and he believes in you. That's the biggest thing, Not only can you believe in yourself, but your coaches believe in you. It gives you a lot more confidence. So he's been a tremendous help.
and your teammate Mark Munoz is getting ready to face Chael Sonnen. What do you got in that fight? I know he's your teammate, and you might be a little bit biased, but break down that fight for me. What do you think of it?
You know, I'm friends with both guys. I'm actually, I've been friends with Chael for a while, and Mark, Mark's one of my best friends. Man, that's a tough fight. It's a great fight. Mark's one of the hardest working guys I've met, and it truly is a top contender fight. I mean, I would have liked to seen that fight for the belt, but unfortunately, they're both in the same point right now. So
Anderson Silva might have something to say about both those guys fighting for a belt, don't you think?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. But they're two of the top middleweights in the world. So I mean, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay, and just I don't know if you do predictions for fights or what have you, but what's your prediction for your fight against Diego Sanchez in February?
Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. That's what I've always done. If it goes 3, if it goes 5 rounds, if it goes 10 rounds, I mean, I'll be ready for sure. But I always look to finish the fight as fast as I can. But just being prepared as I can. But I can see a TKO in the first or second round.
Well, Jake, good luck in the next fight, and thanks for talking with MMAWeekly.com.
My pleasure. Thank you.